There's a scene from Avengers Endgame which got me reflecting on a certain something about being an artist.
I was just standing there. An idiot with an axe.
No, you're no idiot. You're here, aren't you? Seeking counsel from the wisest person in Asgard.
Yeah, yes.
Idiot now. A failure? Absolutely.
It's a little bit harsh.
And you know what that makes you. Just like everyone else.
I'm not supposed to be like everyone else, am I?
Everyone fails at who they're supposed to be, Thor. The measure of a person, of a hero, is how well they succeed at being who they are.
What I connect this with is a little something brought up in Still Like an Artist. The whole part of who you're supposed to be makes me think of how all creators start out with relation to their heroes, often copying said heroes. After all, nothing is original. We don't start out with a specific style or taste. We don't know anything at all until we experience something and discern how we feel about it. I like to think that whatever gets us started as our North Star, providing us direction and hope. Of course, this by itself isn't enough. The story gives us destination, but not the journey itself. The journey is one which we must navigate for ourselves. And no matter what we do, we're going to fail at some point or another. But that's okay. Failure helps us understand. Failure helps us take what works for us from them, while also modifying and adapting it to be ours. Imitation becomes emulation. Emulation, to note, is when you break through things to make your own thing. In fact, let me quote the section real quick, as it's worth hearing. There isn't a move that's a new move. The basketball star Kobe Bryant has admitted that all of his moves on the court were stolen from watching tapes of his heroes. But initially, when Bryant stole a lot of these moves, he realized he couldn't completely pull them off because he didn't have the same body type as the guys he was thieving from. He had to adapt the moves to make them his own. Conan O'Brien has talked about how comedians try to emulate their heroes, fall short, and end up doing their own thing. Johnny Carson tried to be Jack Benny, but ended up Johnny Carson. David Letterman tried to copy Johnny Carson, but ended up David Letterman. And Conan O'Brien tried to be David Letterman, but ended up Conan O'Brien. In O'Brien's words, it is our failure to become our perceived ideal that ultimately defines us and makes us unique. Speaking from personal experience, this is how I developed in many things. For instance, as a crime genre writer, I was inspired by the character Kaito Kid, who I first met when watching Detective Conan. He mesmerized me with his debut, which led me to learn more about the character. That, in turn, introduced me to the gentleman thief archetype and helped me categorize a certain type of character I love. I tried to mimic it in some ways in my earliest writing, but I failed to write things I felt were brilliant as those things which inspired me. I would later realize it's because of how I tried to approach it. I failed at making what can be classified as pink mohawk style. The term comes from the world of Shadowrun. To quote from the Shadowrun wiki, pink mohawk usually falls into going in loud and hot. Get in, get the job done, and get out before anyone has a chance to respond. Loud, proud, irreverent. These are the types of jobs which get zany, which is what a part of me felt I was trying to force myself into while forcing cleverness, or trying to be clever. If you want examples of this, think Lupin III, Fast and the Furious franchise, and, well, Kaito Kid himself. I use elements from this, but my failure to pull it off in a way which satisfied me is what helped me better understand what I want to do. It helped me understand that I lean toward what is classified as a black trenchcoat style. Black trenchcoat is smooth operators, planning out details, coming up with backup plans, fielding footwork, and basically being operators operating operationally. Examples of this include the original Mission Impossible, the TV series, Leverage, and Burn Notice. This is where I'm much better aligned, and I adjust my writing towards this. And I feel my work is much better for it, even if I can do the theatrical and spectacle where I deem it necessary. Anyway, I wouldn't understand all this if it wasn't for me taking something I like and building from that, failing, and then continuing to go with how it works for me. Revisiting that scene has helped me appreciate this relationship with failure and self-discovery, with this and many other things. It's even why this video is presented as it is right now. And speaking of, I'm still finding myself as a creator, how I wish to present self, etc. That's why I'm going with this test right now. I'm okay with the possibility that this might not work, and other things might not work. It's through our failures that we come to understand ourselves. If you wish to see where I've been so far, a video has already popped up for you to try out. Compare then to now.